Did you know that this is the 6th month in a row that the benchmark price for detached homes in Calgary has actually decreased? We went from $648,000 in May to $620,000 in November. That's a $28,000 decrease. But detached homes in the Northeast and East actually increased in price compared to last month. Every quadrant has a different story here in Calgary. So let's get into it. Hi, my name is Fyfe and I'm your Calgary Realtor. If you want more information on anything real estate related, go ahead and click the very first link in the description and book a call with me. I promise I'm pretty easy to talk to. Okay, so here are the numbers for detached homes in Calgary for the month of November. Now this video is a part of my monthly series where I go over every property type in Calgary. So with that being said, let's take a look at the year-to-date stats package. Now everyone's curious of what's going on with price, so you can find that here. From my opening statement, you can see that we are down from our May highs by about $28,000. So it's been a pretty wild year. We are at the same price point that we were at in February when things were actually moving very fast. You can see that in February, we had about 1,800 sales, whereas last month we only had 800. In February, we had 2,800 new listings come to the market, whereas last month we only had 850. So just from those two stats, you can see how the prices were increasing in Q1, whereas now we can expect some decreases in Q4 going into 2023. I would also like to mention that as a whole, we're still up almost $60,000 compared to November of last year. So it is great to see these things kind of falling together because the prices are declining kind of steadily. It is also really good to see that the days on market is staying relatively the same over the past 3 months, and it really just goes to show that this market is still somewhat active. Next, I really like this graph because you can clearly see the crazy run up in price in the early portions of the year and then the decreases over the past 6 months. Now, the red line is price, the blue bar is inventory, and the green bar is sales. Now, obviously prices have fallen, but it is great to see that slow, steady decline. Net migration is still very strong in Calgary. We're actually breaking records. And our economics as a province and city are still performing very well as well. Sales have really leveled off. Inventory has steadily declined, which has really caused that soft decrease in price. Now, if inventory was very high and the sales have dropped off, then prices would decrease much, much faster. Okay, so this chart here showcases the detached market in each quadrant of Calgary. This will help us understand what's going on a more micro level. Now, there's a lot of good information here, but I'm going to quickly highlight a few things. And when people first see this, they want to know what the price point is in their community, and you can find that here. You can see that Calgary Northeast and East were the only quadrants to see an increase in price over the past month. Besides that, every other quadrant saw decreases month over month, with Calgary West seeing the biggest decrease at 3.7% month over month, which actually equals to about $30,000 price reduction in 1 month. When you're looking at the year over year, a little bit of a different story. You can still see double-digit price growth in most quadrants, but when you do look and talk about the supply and demand factor, most quadrants are actually under 2 months of supply, which is still considered to be a seller's market. Now, that means that even though that prices have decreased, the market is still in favor of the seller. So making sure to list your home with a reasonable price and professional marketing can still work out in your favor. So when you kind of look at other things, city center is close to 5 months, which is clearly a buyer's market, which is totally opposite to places like the Southeast. Now this is where strategy will make all the difference. You can't look at the total number and just make your assumptions. You got to dive into it. Like, look at the sales to new listing ratios here. Most quadrants are selling more homes than are listed, which is keeping prices from falling too fast. There's still a lot of demand out there. People are offering less on houses. We get that, rising interest rates. So although things are grim, I am pretty happy with this month's report. Yes, prices are falling and will most likely continue to fall, but look at just how much demand is still out there. Next year is going to be very interesting to see if the demand completely drops off, depending on how high those interest rates go. Moving along, let's take a look and see what price points are the most popular in Calgary. This will also build on your strategy to figure out if your price point is in high demand or if it's just a little bit slower. So you can see here that the $500,000 to $600,000 price point is the most active, where the other three popular price points really closely follow. Now, when comparing to last year, you can see that the $400,000 to $600,000 price point was by far the most popular, but with a shift in demand, a welcome change has happened in that $600,000 price and above. Now, this data coupled with quadrant demand and then diving into your specific community is by far the best thing that you can do in preparation to either buy, invest, or sell real estate right now. Moving along, you can see that the last year actually outpaced this year's sales, which is pretty crazy to consider. The year-to-date sales last year were at 16,000, whereas this year we're close to 1,000 less sales. Now, this is great news for buyers, even though the higher interest rates decrease their total eligibility to purchase higher priced homes. It does showcase that there is still a little bit of movement and more availability for them to actually purchase houses right now. So with all that being said, I can't stress it enough. If you're considering a purchase or a sale in 2023, it's never too early to figure out what the numbers are, where they're heading, and what is the best plan of attack for your future transaction. But with that being said, that's all I got for you. So feel free to book a call with me if you want to dive into these numbers in a lot more detail, as this was only a brief overview. There is still so much to unpack here, but I just don't want to overdo it in this one video. Make sure to subscribe and show some support by commenting on this video. But until next time, peace.